Dear President Treusch, on behalf of J-Capella and our conductor, Dr. Popescu, I'd like to thank you for the support that you provided us with. Every performance that you intended was special for us, not only because we knew we sang in front of a great audience, but because we sang for you, our president. The chatter behind the scenes for the last spring concert, Treusch is here, was not only encouraging but also inspiring, because we knew how much you appreciate good music and that you sang for yourself for quite a while. We wish you not only music-wise, but also life-wise, the best for your future, and we can only thank you once more for being the president and the person that you were and that you still are. And I want to invite you to our Christmas concert this Sunday at 5 p.m. in the Interfaith House. Thank you, President Treusch. Thank you so much. And we have something for you, something small.
How do you find the right words to say goodbye to a man who has done so much for this university? Well, tonight we're going to discover that together. And we're going to do it in the official language of Jacobs University, Denglisch. In diesem Sinne, dear friends of Jacobs University, liebe Freunde und Weggefährten von Joachim Treusch, heiße ich dich herzlich willkommen to our wonderful campus. My name is Petar Perkovic. I'm the president of the Jacobs Alumni Association, member of the very first class of 2004, and I'm going to be your host tonight. And we have a wonderful evening of memories ahead of us. Some of them to be shared here on stage, and most of them actually to be shared in informal conversations after this brief program. But before we go on, I actually have a couple of personal words I'd like to address to the president. During my studies, I never had a chance to call you my president because I graduated before you became president. But over the past 2 years, we have worked together on the alumni matters, and we've achieved quite a lot, actually. And there's a lot of things you could say about Joachim Treusch. And I'm sure many of these things are going to be said tonight. But there's only one thing that I wanted to say. You're a man of many titles. In fact, sometimes your title in front of your name is a bit intimidating to somebody who only has a bachelor's degree. So it would be easy for you to look down on people and to think you're better. But actually, the most amazing thing is no matter whether you talk to the president of the Bremer Senat or you talk to a first-year student here on campus, you treat them with the same amount of respect and genuine curiosity. And that's because you know that insight comes from the places where you least expect it. And that's why you've made a connection with so many people and with such a diverse group of people. And that's why all of them are going to be sad to see you leave. You know, they say great men don't need to prove to others that they're great, and that's what makes them great. And you, Professor Treusch, are one of those people. So it's been an honor and a privilege to work with you, and I want to say thank you for that from my side. But I know I'm not the only one who wants to have a word. So I'm going to hand over to our chairman of the Board of Governors, Professor Karin Lochte.
Well, to follow these words is difficult. Nevertheless, dear friends of Jacobs University, dear students, honored guests, und sehr verehrter lieber Herr Professor Treusch. Es ist für mich eine ganz besondere Ehre, Ihnen, lieber Herr Treusch, für Ihre unermüdliche und visionäre Arbeit für die Jakobs-Universität von Herzen zu danken. Ich tue das mit besonderer Freude, da ich Ihre Arbeit seit einigen Jahren recht eng begleiten konnte als Vorsitzende des Board of Governors. And now I switch to Denglish. It was really interesting to see how this university has developed over these last 5 years, during which I had the chance to experience firsthand the problems and the successes of this university under the leadership of Professor Joachim Treusch. I think it was a great challenge for you to take on this new task, to lead the Jacobs University. You can look upon an extensive experience in leading one of the largest research centers in Germany, the Jülich Research Center, which you have directed for many years. And you are the founding father of the Helmholtz Association, actually one of the largest research groups in Germany, if not Europe. So being a member of the Helmholtz Association myself, I know that this is not an easy job, and I know that this is it has a lot of problems in itself. So I think that you are a person who likes exciting problems. You like a challenge, and you rise to a new challenge. Indeed, the Jacobs University was, and still is, an exciting undertaking and a big challenge. It is a new concept for a university in Germany, and many things had to be newly developed. New concepts had to be created, which are different to the traditional German university concepts, and that did not normally fit into the ways how things are done in Germany. It is still, in the true sense of the word, a great challenge to guide this institution with all its staff and students, which are the heart of the university and which make it to such a wonderful place. After the founding of the university by Professor Schaumann in 2001, who gave the direction and the ideas for the education, Joachim Treusch took over, and it was his achievement to give this university a scientific profile. With admirable foresight, he guided the focusing of the diverse research activities in the house. And it was a major step forward for this university to actually arrive in the landscape of German universities, not only as a good teaching institution, but also as a research university. The combination of excellent teaching with good science that concentrates on fields with application potential has given this university its distinctive profile. The orientation towards great challenges of society has been the explicit wish and the aim of the great supporter of this university, Klaus Jacobs, who hoped to educate a new global generation of scientists well equipped for the challenges of the future. The high ratings and the exceptionally good evaluation by the Wissenschaftsrat for the accreditation shows clearly the high success and demonstrates that the Jacobs University has now, after only 11 years of existence, obtained a good position in the German university landscape and has become an integral part of Bremen research community. The Jacobs University is a new experiment for Germany, experiments with new ways of education, support for students, of recruiting students worldwide, recruiting professors and staff. It also had to find new ways of financing this enterprise, and that was not an easy task, and still is not an easy task. All this happened during a time when the German universities are in a profound period of change and restructuring of the Jacobs University, and they are in the profound period of change and restructuring, and the Jacobs University presents an innovative model that can and should give new impulses for the German university landscape. I've talked about these developments in some detail because Professor Treusch has a great part in these developments. All members of the Jacobs University have contributed to this success, but he is the one who carries the responsibility. Considering the scope of the activities, this is a very heavy burden. I'm sure that his experience from leading the Jülich Research Center and the Helmholtz Association have been invaluable prerequisites for this task. However, it takes much more than just experience. I know, Professor Treusch, that you have worked 7 days a week, more hours than one can count, and I know that you have put much effort into this particular task. It has been a very high commitment on your part for this university. One has to be really deeply convicted that so much work is a valuable and sensible investment in order to carry it out for such a long time. Otherwise, you will give up halfway, and you have never given up. I know that you have a deep belief in this university, its values, its special advantages, its internationality, and its common community spirit. You've done this work as a Überzeugungstäter. I think your engagement has been one of the cornerstones of the positive development and success of the Jacobs University over the last years. You also have been a good communicator on the issues and goals of the Jacobs University in Germany, but also worldwide. And this is very important to build up a persuasive and strong image for this unique place. I heard that your brother is an actor. Maybe there's a streak of natural ability to communicate well in your family. I also have always appreciated and honored very much that you are very honest and very warm-hearted with all the people you are working with. And this has been, I think, also a very important part in the success here in the House. In short, I think this university has been very lucky that you took up this job 6 years ago, and without you, it wouldn't have taken the path it has taken. But I also think that you got many rewards for this strong engagement. The graduation celebrations were a day of wonderful experience to see the happy faces of so many successful students when they received their graduation documents. The 10-year celebration was a brilliant event that showed how far this university has come. You have helped the rowing team to become a favorite sport here. I think this is one of the pictures. This is a little bit copying the famous rowing competitions between Cambridge and Oxford. I hope it will have a long tradition also here in Germany. And I think it's good that our team won, and I wish this team good success in all the years to come. You initiated many contacts with schools in China. This is a very promising field for Germany, and I think that the Jacobs University can give a good example for many other universities who do not take so well care of their foreign guests. Dear Professor Treusch, I would like to thank you very much on behalf of the Board of Governors of the Jacobs University for all the engagement and all the hard work you have done. We know what you have achieved. We know which problems you have fought, maybe more than most people here in the room. And we also hope that you will stay close to this university, its values and its aims, and that you can give good advice also in future for the future development of this place. Thank you very much.
Now, many chapters could be written about Professor Treusch's time here, but let's have a look at a couple of those moments, a couple of those important moments in there. And for that, I'm going to ask a couple of people to come up and help me. First, I'd like to ask Adriana Trutzenberg to come and join me on stage. Di Zhao. Mr. Otto Lamotte. Professor Katja Wind. This wasn't exactly planned, but Herr Treusch, I would like to ask you to join us as well. Darf ich dich an? Ja. Sie können zu mir kommen. Wir machen eine ganz informelle Talkrunde, um ehrlich zu sein. Also wir haben das nicht vorher geübt, wir wollen es auch nicht üben. Es geht darum, einfach ein paar Momente aus Ihren 6 Jahren hier nochmal uns daran zu erinnern. Und ich mache das jetzt auf Deutsch, wenn das in Ordnung ist. Wir kennen Herrn Treusch als einen ruhigen Mann mit sehr viel Kontenance. Es sei denn, es geht ums Rudern. Dann sieht es ein bisschen anders aus. Also Rihanna, kannst du was dazu sagen?
Ja, also ich kann mich noch gut daran erinnern, als wir unsere beiden Rennen gewonnen haben, das mit den Frauen und mit den Männern, da war kein Unterschied. Also jeder in der Gruppe von den Fans, alle waren gleich und Herr Treusch hat mitgeschrien und ja genau, so wie auf dem Foto, also es war schon schön zu sehen.
Er hat auch einmal mitgemacht, oder? Beim Rudern für Krebs?
Aber nicht im Rennen.
Wie haben Sie das erlebt, Herr Treusch?
Begleitboot.
Woher kommt diese Leidenschaft?
Nicht daher, dass ich gut rudern könnte oder es getan hätte. Es war der verwegene Ansatz, als wir, ich darf das so sagen, von der Mercedes-Vertretung hier in Bremen den Sprinter gesponsert bekamen, musste der eingefahren werden. Und da ich ein fanatischer Busfahrer bin, ich hatte früher einen VW-Bus mit meinen Söhnen, habe ich den Ruderclub eingeladen, mit ihm an Starnberger See zu fahren, zum Rudern wieder den Krebs. Habe selber gefahren, rauf und runter, habe dann miterlebt, was passierte, war wunderbar. Und daraus ist auch die ganze Förderkampagne erwachsen, die uns hinterher vorangebracht hat. Ein bisschen war die Hinteridee diese, das Funding und das Sponsoring. Ein bisschen war auch die Idee, die hoffentlich, nein, ich weiß sicher, geholfen hat, dass auch die Professoren und Professorinnen sehen sollten, es ist keine Schande, sonntags mit Studenten was zu unternehmen, es macht Spaß.
Herr Lamotte, es gibt auch eine andere Art von Sport, die Herr Treusch ganz toll betrieben hat, und das ist Fundraising oder Spendenakquise, so könnte man das auch sehen. Und Sie haben eine entscheidende Rolle gespielt, besonders beim Jubiläum und bei der Geburtstagsspende. Wie war das? Wie kam es überhaupt dazu?
Ja, wir hatten immer den engen Kontakt zu Professor Treusch und zur Jakobs-Universität. Als Wirtschaft, als Handelskammer ganz besonders. Wir haben sehr viele Begegnungen mit Professor Treusch gehabt und gemeinsame Dinge entwickelt. Und dadurch ist die Resonanz in der Wirtschaft in Bremen von vornherein sehr groß und sehr positiv gewesen. Und da war es eine Selbstverständlichkeit für uns, dass wir gerade auch aus dem Plenum, aus der Vollversammlung der Handelskammer gesammelt haben für diesen besonderen Anlass, und wir haben eine gute Zahl von 1 Million Euro zusammenbekommen.
Wunderbar. Und Frau Wind, für Sie war und ist natürlich auch die Nähe zum Business, zu der Wirtschaft auch wichtig. Interessanterweise Ihren Studiengang gab es am Anfang nicht. Wie kam es überhaupt dazu, dass es zustande gekommen ist?
Ja, wir haben 2007 International Logistics Engineering Management hier an der Jacobs University. Und hier möchte ich Ihnen persönlich, Herr Präsident Treusch, nochmal sehr von Herzen danken, dass dieser Studiengang hier an die Jacobs University geholt worden ist. Insbesondere auch natürlich auch Dank seitens der Studenten der Logistik. Ich darf ja heute noch reden als Professorin der Logistics Faculty, dass ich Ihnen also seitens der Faculty und der Studenten danken möchte, dass Sie gemeinsam mit Dean Kramer und Dean Birus in Kooperation diesen Studiengang hier auch an die Jacobs geholt haben. Und da insbesondere haben wir eben sehr starke Unterstützung von über 300 Unternehmen, insbesondere hier aus der Region, erhalten. Wir haben immer noch ein Logistics und haben auch damals gegründet, ein Logistics Advisory Board, Da sind wir sehr dankbar hier für den Input seitens der Unternehmen, die uns also wirklich sehr eng begleiten und deren Rat wir sehr häufig suchen. Und ich möchte natürlich hier auch gerne die Bitte und den Enthusiasmus weitergeben, auch an andere Unternehmen, sich dort drin zu beteiligen. Wir sind sehr dankbar, wenn sich an diese Initiative auch weitere Unternehmen anschließen, denn unsere Studenten sind aus meiner Sicht, und ich denke, das zeigen viele Beispiele, sehr gut ausgebildet, um in den Unternehmen auch tatsächlich eben die Logistikfächer sozusagen zu repräsentieren und hier auch den Unternehmen zu unterstützen.
Sehr gut. Frau Wind, ich sehe, Fundraising ist auch ein Sport, der Ihnen ganz nahe liegt. Apropos Logistik, du hast Logistik studiert, richtig? Aber es gibt auch noch eine Leidenschaft, die du und deine Familie mit Herrn Treusch teilt, und das ist China. Kannst du uns irgendwas dazu erzählen überhaupt? Wie würdest du Herrn Treusch und China beschreiben? Was ist die Verbindung da?
Ich kann erstmal sagen, dass es für Professor Treusch, also vor Professor Treusch, gab es keine chinesischen Studenten an der Jakobs-Universität. Und dann hieß es, wie können wir eigentlich eine internationale Universität sein, ohne chinesische Studenten, wenn sie so viel der Weltpopulation ausmachen? Und dann hieß es, okay, wir wollen chinesische Studenten an der Jakobs-Universität haben, aber erstens, das erste Hindernis war, wie kriegt man überhaupt chinesische Studenten an die Jakobs? Weil in China Privatuniversitäten nicht den besten Ruf haben. Das sind die Universitäten, wo man für das Studiengeld 1:1 einen Abschluss bekommt. Und es ist ein riesiges Hindernis in China gewesen, Glaubwürdigkeit für unsere Universität aufzubauen. Keiner kannte Jakobs. Und Sie kennen ja Jakobs, Sie wissen, was toll an unserer Uni ist, das, was an den Studenten toll ist, was an der Ausbildung toll ist. Aber in China weiß es keiner. Und diese Glaubwürdigkeit hat Professor Treusch aufgebaut, indem er selbst vor Ort in China mit den besten Middle Schools kooperiert hat, in denen er mit den großen Politikern von China diniert hat, also unter anderem mit dem Wirtschaftsminister. Was haben Sie noch gemacht? Also gereist, sie haben viele chinesische Studenten betreut, sie an Land geholt. Und ich glaube, dieses Jahr haben wir fast 30 Studenten aus China. Und das ist etwas, was einfach ohne das Engagement von Professor Treusch direkt und spezifisch für dieses Thema niemals möglich gewesen wäre. Und das ist natürlich ein weiterer Schritt zu einer richtig, richtig internationalen Universität.
Herr Treusch. Herr Treusch, woher diese Begeisterung für China? Warum ausgerechnet China?
Ich hatte von Jülich aus mit dem Dreischluchtendamm zu tun, hatte da China kennengelernt und zunächst mal die meisten der Vorurteile abgebaut, die bei uns so gängig sind. Dann kam die ganz sachliche Überlegung, die Frau Sau schon beschrieben hat. Es kann nicht sein, dass eine Universität wie wir keine chinesischen Studenten hat. Und dann habe ich in der Bemühung, dies zu ändern und noch einen Weg zu finden, wie man aus 9 Millionen Abiturienten pro Jahr die 25 raussucht, die man als Studenten hier haben will. Da haben wir aber einen guten Weg gefunden, indem wir mit einzelnen Schulen, den besten Gymnasien, die es dort gibt, die kann man rauskriegen in China, Verträge gemacht haben. Und ich kann nur sagen, im Moment, wir haben in der ersten Anmeldungsrunde, das werden Sie vielleicht noch gar nicht wissen, heute 52 chinesische Anmeldungen und alle für Insider mit einem SAT über 2000.
Wir setzen unser Gespräch gleich fort. Wir machen aber eine kleine Pause. Und wenn wir schon beim Thema China sind, wir werden ein Stück hören, das heißt Bach Goes China, mit einem traditionellen chinesischen Instrument. Ich würde es gerne aussprechen, aber ich bin mir sicher, ich würde es falsch machen. Könntest du uns kurz sagen, was es ist?
Es geht um die Erhu. Das ist ein Saiteninstrument, das der europäischen Violine wahrscheinlich gleichkommt.
Wunderbar, dann freuen wir uns drauf.
So, dear President Treusch, we know you have contributed a lot to the relationship between the Jakobs-Universität and Chinese high schools, and that you're also a great audience of Bach. So today we have mixed the Hirtensinfonie from Bach and a Chinese shepherd song. So I hope you can like it.
So, dann würde ich nochmal meine Gesprächspartner nochmal auf die Bühne bitten. Die Fragen werden aber nur leichter, keine Sorge. Dankeschön. Herr Lamotte, Sie haben von Anfang an Jacobs University oder International University Bremen geglaubt und es als wichtigen Faktor für die Bremer Wirtschaft gesehen. Warum eigentlich?
Also die Jakobs-Universität selbst gehört zentral zu der Entwicklung, die wir global, aber auch hier vor Ort in Bremen sehen. Bremen als Hansestadt ist ja seit Jahrhunderten mit der Welt verbunden. Und wir haben sehr früh in Bremen erkannt, insbesondere die Wirtschaft, dass die Internationalität heute eine ganz große Rolle spielt. Und die Jakobs-Universität repräsentiert das von der wissenschaftlichen Seite. Bei Professor Treusch, das möchte ich persönlich ganz besonders ansprechen, habe ich immer bewundert, dass zum einen die Grundlagenforschung und da ganz besonders originell und originär interdisziplinäre Forschung über ganz neue Dimensionen hinweg einerseits und andererseits das Herüberbringen in die Anwendung, ins Operative, gerade auch ins Wirtschaftliche und auch die Konsequenz, sich damit spiegeln zu lassen, eine ganz große Bedeutung gehabt hat. Und das hat uns in der Wirtschaft sehr viel gebracht, das hat uns in der Wirtschaft aber auch sehr neugierig gemacht. Und in dieser Gesamtkonstellation zwischen Gesellschaft, Wissenschaft und Wirtschaft hat die Handelskammer, hat die Bremer Wirtschaft und ich finde die Gemengelage, die wir als Bürgergesellschaft hier auch haben, sehr, sehr viel gehabt und davon hat sie sehr viel profitiert.
Herr Treusch, können Sie sich noch erinnern, als Sie das erste Mal Herrn Lamotte kennengelernt haben?
Das war schon in 2007 im Januar. Da war ich im Plenum der Handelskammer eingeladen zu einem Vortrag und sollte über meine Visionen berichten von der Universität, die zu dem Zeitpunkt noch gerade 4 Wochen weiter IUB hieß. Ich bin ziemlich sicher, ich habe in dem Vortrag den alten Schmidtschen Spruch, wer Visionen hat, sollte zum Arzt gehen, dadurch zurechtgerückt, dass ich gesagt habe, wer keine Visionen mehr hat, braucht auch keinen Arzt mehr. Und das hat das Plenum damals wohlgefällig zur Kenntnis genommen, mir dann zugehört. Und seitdem hat sich da eine sehr enge Verbindung entwickelt, weil, und das muss man natürlich auch sagen, zu jedem Dialog gehören 2 Seiten. Und ich habe von Anfang an bei dieser Handelskammer, speziell im Plenum, mit großer Freude wahrgenommen, wie wahrnehmungsfähig, wie diskussionswillig und wie intelligent der Dialog dort geführt wird. Das hat einfach Spaß gemacht.
Und Frau Wind, in Ihrem Fachbereich ist natürlich die Nähe zur Wirtschaft selbstverständlich, aber da ist auch eine gewisse Nähe zur Bremer Wirtschaft, insbesondere für Sie, aber auch für Ihre Studenten. Wie sieht das denn aus?
Ja, wir haben in dem International Logistics Study Program haben wir ein Internship eingebaut, was 4 bis 6 Monate die Studenten ich würde sagen, ermutigt, in die Unternehmen zu gehen, um dort natürlich auch ihre Qualifikation praxisrelevant zu erweitern und insbesondere auch Deutschkenntnisse, also alle Studenten lernen ja Deutsch, das ist auch ein wesentlicher Faktor hier und das wird natürlich dort auch, sofern sie hier, die meisten machen es eben hier in Deutschland, auch hier in Bremen, direkt in Unternehmen und insofern können wir hier sehr gut das an unserem Studienprogramm aufgreifen. Darüber hinaus haben wir gerade jüngst eine neue Initiative gegründet mit Via Bremen, der Bremen Ambassadors, wo unsere Studenten über Bremer Geschichte, über Bremer Industrieunternehmen, über die Häfen etc. eine ganze Tour bekommen sie hier durch Bremen, um wirklich als Botschafter für Bremen in die Welt zu ziehen. Und ich glaube, das ist wirklich sehr langfristig orientiert, dass wir hier also auch den Namen Bremen weiter in die Welt hineintragen. Und ich kann noch weitere Initiativen nennen, mit dem Logistics Chain Club zum Beispiel, ist BVL, also Bundesvereinigung Logistik, Gruppe gegründet worden, die jetzt also auch aktiv ist und auch auf den Logistikkongress fährt und auch dort sozusagen uns, also auch Bremen mit repräsentiert.
Didi, kannst du uns ein bisschen mehr davon erzählen? Logistics Chain Club?
Klar, davor noch kurz, auch von Studentenseite eigentlich ein sehr großes Dankeschön an all die Förderer. Danke, einfach. Logistics Chain Club, das ist eine Studenteninitiative, als wir gesagt haben, okay, wir lernen bei Professor Wind sehr, sehr viel, vor allem im Bereich Logistik, aber wir wissen nicht genau, wie wir es anwenden wollen. Also haben gesagt, so ein à la Jakobs Einstellung, wir gründen einen Club, wo wir anfangen, außerhalb des Klassenraums selber zu lernen. A classroom, outside the classroom, haben wir gesagt. Und wir haben da angefangen mit Unternehmen, Logistikunternehmen, Wirtschaftsunternehmen hier in Bremen zusammenzuarbeiten, Gastlektüren, Gastvorlesungen zu haben, Unternehmensbesuche zu machen oder auch Case Study Competitions. Also es ist eine ganz, ganz tolle Beziehung zu der Wirtschaft hier.
Sehr schön. Und Ariana, du studierst auch nicht nur, wenn man es nur sagen darf. Du bist auch aktiv hier in Bremen und insbesondere in Bremen Nord. Ich sage jetzt erstmal Yashai-Initiative. Ich hoffe, ich habe die richtig ausgesprochen.
Also da habe ich ein bisschen mitgeholfen und dann hatten wir ein großes Benefizkonzert, was wir jetzt jedes Jahr hier an der Uni haben oder auch haben wollen. Wir wollen das zu einer Tradition machen. Das ist das Piano to Forte Konzert, wo wir immer Geld, also das ganze Geld, was wir da einnehmen, geht an eine Initiative, an irgendeine soziale Initiative oder irgendwas, ja, irgendeinen guten Zweck auf jeden Fall. Und da hatten wir in einem Jahr, dieser gute Zweck war dann die Yachai-Initiative, gegründet von einem Studenten, der in Ecuador mit Kindern arbeitet, die normalerweise keine gute Bildung hätten und da sehr, sehr viel Arbeit reinsteckt. Und da gibt es jetzt auch hier ja, das Bremen Chapter, also von den Studenten hier an der Uni, die dann mithelfen und dann hier auch zu den Schulen gehen und mit den Kindern ja, so Sachen lernen wie Leadership Skills und ja, wie man sich selbstbewusst irgendwo hinstellt und was erzählt oder sowas. Ja, also da gibt es diesen Kontakt einfach mit Bremen von den Studenten aus.
Und Herr Treusch, Stichwort Piano to Forte, man sieht Sie ja oft da.
Also diejenigen von Ihnen, die noch nicht da waren, sollten es unbedingt bei der nächsten Möglichkeit wahrnehmen, die Chance wahrnehmen, zu merken, welche Vielfalt der Musik hier auf dem Campus möglich ist. Es ist einfach aufregend und spannend. Kleiner Anklang kam ja eben schon, die verschiedenen Instrumente der verschiedenen Kontinente auch zu kombinieren. Und da ist der Erfindungsreichtum, so wie ich das in den letzten Jahren festgestellt habe, unserer Studenten praktisch unbegrenzt. Also ich kann nur unterstützen, kommen Sie hin.
Ich möchte jetzt ein bisschen mehr persönlich werden und dann gucke ich dich gleich an. Eigentlich wärst du gar nicht hier, wenn es Herrn Treusch nicht gegeben hätte, oder?
Ja. Ich habe, bevor ich an die Jakobs kam, Jura studiert, 2 Jahre lang. Ich war todunglücklich, weil es einfach nicht das war, was mich begeistert. Und ich hatte dann abgebrochen. 2008 bin ich dann zufällig Professor Treusch begegnet. Und in einem Gespräch in knappen Worten hat Professor Treusch einfach gesagt, warum versuchen Sie es nicht an der Jakobs? Hier können Sie vielleicht etwas entdecken, was Sie begeistert. Und dann habe ich hier angefangen. Ich hatte die Chance, Biochemie zu studieren, bin aber dann bei Professor Wind gelandet. Und seitdem habe ich eine tolle Arbeit gefunden. Ich habe einen tollen Sponsor hier an der Jakobs gehabt. Und es ist alles eigentlich nur wegen dieser paar knappen Worte und ich bin sehr, sehr dankbar.
Nun kommen wir zum Abschluss sozusagen. Wir sind ja hier schließlich unter Freunden in einer intimen Atmosphäre. Wir können auch Insidergeschichten erzählen. Gibt es irgendeine Insidergeschichte über Herrn Treusch, die wir noch nicht wissen, die wir wissen sollten? Und Herr Treusch, Sie sind auch herzlich eingeladen, Ihre Insidergeschichten zu erzählen.
Aus dem Publikum vielleicht.
Also ich erzähle jetzt einfach mal. Also wir haben jährlich immer mit dem Ruderteam in dem Ruderverein, in dem wir hier trainieren, ein Essen, das Heringsessen. Und Herr Treusch kommt auch immer. Und das ist immer für uns ganz witzig, manchmal ein bisschen langweilig, viele reden und so weiter. Aber dieses Mal waren wir auch wieder mit einer kleinen Gruppe von Ruderern da. Und dann am Ende, als die ganzen Reden vorbei waren, saßen wir da noch zusammen. Und er kam dann wie selbstverständlich zu uns an den Tisch und hat dann einfach mit uns geredet. Wir haben zusammen was getrunken, wir haben zusammen über die Uni geredet, übers Rudern geredet, einfach so ganz normal wie Freunde. Und da wollte ich mich gerne bedanken, weil sowas ist wirklich nicht normal. Also, dass man... Nein, ich muss erklären. Es ist nicht normal, dass man mit seinem Präsidenten, der Präsident der Uni, an einem Tisch sitzt, so normal und familiär und sich wirklich da austauschen kann. Und ja, dafür möchte ich mich ganz herzlich bedanken für diese Nähe, die Sie zu uns Studenten haben. Ja.
Sie sehen eine, wie harte und schöne Arbeit es ist, Vorurteile auszuräumen.
Gibt es noch weitere Geschichten, die wir erzählen wollen, oder behalten wir das für später?
Herr Professor Treusch ist 2011 zum Kohlkönig gewählt worden von Bremen. Und da hat er eine unglaubliche Rede geschwungen als, wie nennt man das, also fast wie ein Karnevalsredner. Die haben wir auf Englisch haben wir als Studenten das natürlich nie erlebt. Und als wir dann da waren, waren wir einfach nur geflasht. Das war ein Erlebnis zu erleben, wie Professor Treusch Leuten mit seiner Rede richtig Tränen in die Augen treiben konnte vor Lachen. Also wenn Sie das Glück haben, wäre es toll, mal das zu hören.
Herr Treusch, gleich werden Sie die Gelegenheit haben, das nochmal zu machen. Aber wir machen jetzt erstmal eine kurze Pause und glaube, wir werden noch ein musikalisches Stück hören. Ich bedanke mich ganz herzlich bei meinen Gesprächspartnern. Sie dürfen wieder an Ihren Platz.
Dear President Treusch, as many here, I am also filled with gratitude for this privilege of being in this university. And in these past years, you have not only shown your concern for this university as a whole, but especially for its students. And for example, by showing up and supporting those student-run events such as Piano to Forte, you have really made us feel so special. And you have really, in your very unique way, proven yourself as not only a great leader, but also a friend of this university. And I'd like to take this song and express our gratitude with it, and also tell you that you'll always be a friend of Jakobs University and of its students. I hope you enjoy it.
Packing up the dreams God has planted in the fertile soil of you, and we can't believe the hopes He has granted. Means a chapter in your life is through, but we'll keep you close as always, and it won't even seem you've gone, 'cause our hearts in big and small ways will keep the love that keeps it's hard to let you go, in the Father's hands we know that a lifetime's not too long to live as friends. Oh, and with the faith and love God has given, springing from the hope we know, and we will pray the joy you'll live in is the strength that now you show, but we'll keep you close as always, and it won't even seem you've gone, 'cause our hearts in big and small ways will keep the love that keeps us strong, and you will be our friend forever. We're thankful for the time we spend, and a friend will not say never, 'cause the welcome will not end. And though it's hard to let you go, in the Father's hands we know that a lifetime's not too long to live as friends, and you will be our friend forever. We're thankful for the time we spend, and a friend will not say never, 'cause the welcome will not end. And though it's hard to let you go, in the Father's hands we know that a lifetime's not too long to live as friends. No, a lifetime's not too long to live as friends. Oh, to live as friends. To live as friends. To live as friends.
Yes, Professor Treusch, I can see you looking at the program. And if you did look at the program, you would think that it's your turn to give a speech. But over here, we don't like to do things by the book every time. So instead of that, I'd still like to ask you to come on stage. We have a couple of things for you. I can see the look of surprise in you. Don't worry, it's nothing bad. First, on behalf of the Jacobs community, I'd like to ask you to come and join us.
Dear President Treusch, it's hard to let you go, you know, but at least we're leaving as friends, and this is very nice. And on behalf of the community, of the Jacobs community, we, the college masters of the residential colleges, are honored to give you a small memento. And hopefully, which Jessica is going to present to you, hopefully this is something that you might read and look back when you have a glass of wine. And then you look back on the 6 years that you spent here. We are very, very grateful for your support for the community and the community at large. Thanks themselves. Thanks you for this great honor.
I know. I assume I know what it is. You should explain, perhaps. It's photographs over the history.
No, no. I think
written text.
I'm not going to spoil the surprise.
Okay.
Since you obviously don't know, I think it's much better that you open it and have a look yourselves.
The Japanese way or the
I don't know. I think well, let's say the German way. So it will take some time for the next speech to occur because it's a book. And yes, it has some photographs in it, but also text and pictures and pieces of art that people have made for Professor Treusch, both in English, German, and other weird languages, which I will not specify. Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So that was the first one. We have another one, which is kind of a going away present, but it's also a staying here present, if I can say it like that. Dean Kramer, could I ask you to do the honors?
You want to stand or to sit? Okay. Can you hear me? Okay, good. Can you also see me? Because I'm in reality not here. It's a vision what you see. You can also see me.
I have a vision.
Okay, it's good. Dear friends, dear students, dear guests, dear Jacobs community, this is really a remarkable day. It's a celebrating day. We celebrate today. We celebrate the farewell of the second president of this famous university. 6 years ago, I had the great honor of welcoming the new president on behalf of the leadership at that time, represented by the Academic Council. Today, it's even a greater honor for me to say goodbye to you on behalf of the management, extended management board and the academic board, the two succeeding committees of the Academic Council, representing the Jacobs University community. I do this with a few tears, which I don't show, but also with great pleasure. And the great pleasure is really honestly because I think that the past 6 years have been a great success because we had a very successful development of our university due to and during your presidency. I do not want to go into the details. You have heard some of the finer details already, but since I'm one of the oldest companions of you, I think we know each other since 47 years or so. It's hard. I think it's 47 years, that's right. It's in order that I could name a few of the major achievements. And this I do particularly happily because, remind you, when this man took over his burden of leading this university, at that time International University Bremen, the situation of the university was much, much worse than today. Especially financially. And I say this is in parentheses. I just say this for the journalists. I'm sure there are quite a few journalists here. Where are the journalists? The Taz journalists, where are the Taz journalists? It has been only the first of many great achievements of the, at that time, new president, this person, to sharpen our academic profile in such a way that eventually the Jacobs Foundation could not resist to invest a substantial amount in our future. Which eventually means the future of our students from more than 100 nations. This is the real investment Jacobs Foundation did, and I think this is a very important investment. And I want just to take this opportunity, Christian Jacobs, to say thanks for everything. Not only this, he also convinced the Jacobs family and the foundation to give us this unique name. Remember the time when this came up, Jacobs University. There was almost a revolution on the campus. And then there was this great performance showing the new logo and everything. It was such a nice event. The tears come again. Actually, this achievement is an example of one of the most outstanding talents of Joachim Treusch, namely to convince very different players in very different corners of the world to combine efforts for the benefit of his university, his students, the Jacobs University and the Jacobs community. Just to give you a few examples in summary of such strategies, we have seen the building of College Nordmetall and the new sports hall recently. We have also seen the flourishing of our rowing team and our theater space. Last but not least, we have seen a number of new and very successful academic study programs like the international logistics, which we have already celebrated today. And all of this is underpinned by a very healthy and continuous growth of the student numbers of about 8% per year. I think there are a few bankers here also. They can calculate what time it needs to double the population of the university. And by the way, in the last 6 years, we have tripled our third-party income. It's also a nice exercise for the bankers to calculate the interest rate for this. Tripling in 6 years. It's quite a substantial thing. During the presidency of Joachim Treusch, the university truly has begun to flourish. And if you would visit the campus in May, forthcoming May, and not come now in December, which is a bit bad for that, but you would be able to see the flourishing here on the campus. The campus has become a beloved meeting place, not only for us and our community here in Bremen Nord. We are truly a member of the community here in Bremen Nord, but also for various scientific communities worldwide, as one can see by the meanwhile large number of workshops and conferences taking place here on our campus every year. But now I would like to finish here, because otherwise I could continue for the next 1 hour or so. But this is not allowed according to our ceremony master, who is waiting already. I must come to my really serious task this evening, namely the handover of the farewell souvenir in view of the merits of the second president. We have indeed thought about this present for quite some time. It was not at all easy. Knowing about the financial situation of the university, we are healthier, but not really very, very healthy. One of the most important conditions of this present was it should not cost too much. It should be really cheap. But at the same time, it also should be a true souvenir. It should remind him always of his former place. And it should certainly also remind his former place of him. To make the long story short, in view of his I think it's his most favorite activity, namely giving very convincing speeches. Eventually, we decided to provide him with a platform for this. It's not an internet platform, that's too easy nowadays. It's a real platform. Now I need the platform. This real platform, I would like to come to members of the EM board. Please, could you come up here? We would like to give this present together. This platform has even a name. It's called Joachim Treusch Terrace. It's a terrace in front of the IRC building, and this will be put to the building there somewhere. And this is for the presidency of 2006 to 2012, and this is for you, so that you can come every weekend to the Jacobs University and can give speeches on this terrace with a glass of white wine. And convincing young students to come and to stay here in this wonderful university. Thank you very much for all you did for this place. And thank you very much personally for our very challenging collaboration. So, and thank you for your attention. Now I'm finished.
Können Sie es an? Einmal bitte. Talking of speeches, I know you're waiting to give yours. And I think this was it, or was this it?
Thank you so much for your support, for supporting the choir. We know we had a concert on Saturday and you were here for us. We want to thank you. I'd firstly like to thank you and just tell you that you've been awesome for us and you've always had our back. And secondly, I'd like to stand on behalf of the university, the student body, the sports department, and all the students. And we have something very special to present to you today. And as you can see, everyone is supposed to go down so that President Treusch can see what we have for him. We have a boat in your name, President Treusch. Yes. So, on behalf of everyone, the rowing team, all the various sporting departments, we want to thank you so much and present this to you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah.
Let me thank you. That's really a surprise. But what I particularly am happy about is it's not a racing boat, but a wandering boat. That is very comfortable for me.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Das will ich mal anfassen. Stark.
President Treusch, we gave you a terrace to hold a speech. We gave you a boat I think that's the best we can do, to be honest. So now it's over to you.
But not this speech.
If you...
Dear friends of Jacobs University, dear friends of mine, which might be a synonym, after what you have heard and seen the last about an hour, might make you wonder how could a farewell address be constructed. I wonder too. You could think, well, he must have experience. He left Dortmund 25 years ago. He left Jülich 6 years ago. What about giving a farewell address? But I can tell you it's quite different here. It's different mainly for the spirit of Jacobs University, for the students and the faculty, which are quite unnormal, if I may say so, as I was titled unnormal, same way. And the only thing I would like to express is gratitude for all the fun and excitement and hard work I had here for the last 6.5 years. But to extend that would take more than an hour, and in that case, I follow Bernhard Kramer. I will be short, and I look for a way out. I will try to paraphrase my thankfulness by reminding you on one of the nicest pieces of world literature written by Mark Twain. I will do it in German, since my English is far from enabling me to cope with Mark Twain in his mother tongue. And our students, who do not know German so well, at least those who do not, they will read Mark Twain or have it read in English anyway. Sie kennen alle Mark Twains wunderbare Geschichte von Tom Sawyer und erinnern vielleicht auch noch den Anfang, als Tante Polly, nachdem sie lange vergeblich nach Tom gerufen hatte, so fängt das Buch ja an, Tom, Tom, ihn endlich erwischt und zur vermeintlichen Strafe beauftragt, den Gartenzaun mit neuer Farbe zu streichen. Tom hat eine glanzvolle Idee. Er beginnt seine Arbeit mit so vernehmlich nach außen getragener Freude und Begeisterung, dass schließlich alle seine dadurch herbeigelockten Freunde bereit sind, ihre schönsten Habseligkeiten zu opfern, um von Tom die Erlaubnis zu bekommen, statt seiner zu arbeiten. Das Ergebnis ist bekannt. Der Zaun ist am Abend 3-mal und sehr ordentlich überstrichen. Tante Polly ist begeistert und Tom, glücklicher Besitzer 2 Hosentaschen voller Schätze. Diese Art der Motivation hat mich immer wieder geleitet. Oft genug erfolgreich. Und ich danke allen Freds und Joes und Huckleberrys dieser Welt, die den Erfolg zu verantworten haben, für den ich in 6 Jahren mit weit mehr als 2 Hosentaschen voller Schätze belohnt worden bin. Bevor ich das Bild jetzt in die reale Welt noch etwas übertrage, let me tell to our students, actually it's not the painting of fences that's our prime task. It's trespassing fences. But what is right in the picture is that if we do something together, even the impossible will be possible. Nun zur Übertragung, als ich hierher kam nach Bremen, mein Vorgänger war Fritz Schaumann und ich muss hier Reimer Lüst mit erwähnen, denn die beiden zusammen haben mit vielen Bremer Kaufleuten den Spirit dieser Universität sozusagen zum Start auf die Rampe gelegt. Und diese Universität lebt davon, was die Vorgänger gemacht haben, und sie wird davon leben, was die Nachfolger machen. Und sie wird davon leben, wie der Bremer Geist, der ein sehr spezifischer ist. Als Nicht-Bremer darf ich mir erlauben, zu sagen, dass man gewisse Unterschiede erkennen kann zwischen dem Rheinland und Hessen und Nordrhein-Westfalen und Hamburg und Bremen. Meine erste Begegnung mit der Idee, dass ich hier ein Amt bekommen könnte, geschah aus dem Board of Governors heraus. Herr Hockemeyer war mein Gastgeber bei der Schaffermahlzeit 2004. Am Ende dieser wunderbaren, langen Mahlzeit in der oberen Rathaushalle wusste ich, dass der Schatzmeister der IUB mich nicht vergeblich interviewt hatte, auch nicht umsonst. Das hat die Weichen gestellt. Dann muss ich erwähnen, heute leider nicht da, Konrad und Lotti Naber. Konrad hat mir bei der Verabschiedung von Herrn Schaumann im Senatssaal im Rathaus, ich war also noch nicht im Amt, gesagt: Herr Treusch, ich kann das nicht haben, dass die IUB leidet. Ich höre, Sie haben finanzielle Schwierigkeiten. Ich werde Ihnen eine $500.000 schenken. Einfach so. Sie glauben nicht, wie wunderbar ich diese $500.000 hochmultipliziert habe, im Sinne des Zaunstreichens. Es hat wunderbar geholfen, dass ich einfach sagen konnte, ich bin noch gar nicht da, und es gab schon die erste Unterstützung. Das nächste, und hier würde ich jetzt weder Huckleberry, den schon gar nicht, noch Joe, noch einen der anderen Freunde von Tom Sawyer als parallel heranziehen, sondern eher Tante Polly. Kam ich ins Gespräch mit Christian Jacobs, der mir sagt, es würde sich wahrscheinlich lohnen, mit seinem Vater zu sprechen. Das tat es in der Tat. Und warum das Bild von Tante Polly? Weil die Jacobs Stiftung, die uns ja so wie Tante Polly Tom adoptiert hat und seitdem mit unverbrüchlicher Fürsorge, manchmal streng, aber immer liebevoll begleitet. Liebevolle Begleitung ist überhaupt ein Wort, das in dieser Universität hohen Stellenwert hat. Ich weiß, dass einige heute nicht da sind, weil sie am Montag im Rathausempfang sein werden. Aber einen Namen muss ich einfach dabei herausgreifen, das ist Heiner Heseler, Staatsrat, der von Beginn an für diese Universität ein zuverlässiger, verlässlicher, erfindungsreicher Freund war und uns so behandelt hat, Klammer auf, wie wir das auch für richtig finden, als seien wir insbesondere für die Wirtschaft, aber eben für Wirtschaft und Wissenschaft von Bremen ein Juwel. Das hat immer gut getan, hat manchmal besonders im Kontrast sehr gut getan. Das Board of Governors, ursprünglich eine Bremer Insiderbesetzung, die sich aus Bremen heraus für uns gekümmert hat und deswegen so unerlässlich war, uns hier zu verwurzeln, wird inzwischen, und Sie haben Frau Lochte ja zuhören können, weiter über die Republik ausgedehnt, aber die liebevolle Zuneigung ist deswegen nicht weniger geworden. Sie haben von Herrn Kramer gehört und vom Management Board, früher Academic Council, gesehen, wie wir zusammenstehen. Sie haben auch sensibel gemerkt, an welchen Stellen Sie lachen durften. Und ich formuliere es mal so, unsere Leadership in diesen letzten 6 Jahren hat sich dadurch ausgezeichnet, dass jeder und jede auf ihre Art das getan hat, was er, sie für diese Universität am besten fanden. Und diese Gemeinsamkeit, diese farbige Gemeinsamkeit, hat genau durch diese Vielfalt der Farben dafür gesorgt, dass der Erfolg letzten Endes sich einstellen musste. Sie haben vielleicht vorhin gemerkt, dass ich während der Erwähnung der Logistik kurz das Mikrofon in die Hand genommen habe. Ich habe es dann wieder hingelegt, weil ich sage, ich habe ja noch eine Chance, nämlich zu sagen, und das passt wieder genau in das Bild, und jetzt adressiere ich dich, Bernhard, ohne die Dynamik unseres Dean Kramer wäre die Logistik nicht gekommen. Ich kann mir anrechnen, sie nicht verhindert zu haben und anschließend dafür gesorgt zu haben, dass in der Konkurrenz der Schools die Logistik ihren richtigen Gleichgewichtsplatz fand. Aber die Dynamik und die Idee war, wie gesagt, von anderer Stelle. Faculty, that's what I do not avoid wherever I'm to tell people. Faculty is unique, as staff and administration and students are unique. All of them, and now I address faculty, are devoted in a way, and I have long experience with universities, which is quite unusual. And it's fun to cooperate with them, and you got a smell in your nose all over the years and also today about that particular fact. Same is true for admin, and in spite of the normal, well, critics professors have against admin, and admin has against crazy professors, at the end it works extremely well. And whenever you meet a colleague of ours who has left us and gone to another university, after a while you will hear, oh, it was so nice at Jacobs. That's what I also learned from our alumni, whom I met last in Harvard, spring this year. There were about 40. They all came from all over the United States to have a dinner together with the Jacobs America Foundation, and they told about their professional experiences. The oldest one being 30, 31, the youngest being 23. It was just amazing. And so I know that all of the volunteers, of the guest parents, die Gasteltern, friends and family, President's Table, Patron Society, all of you who are here, Sie alle, die Sie mit der Universität zu tun haben, können nachvollziehen, welch ein Vergnügen es ist, hier an dieser Universität zu arbeiten. Und ich darf dazu sagen, auch eingebettet in die Bremer Gesellschaft, vom Club zu Bremen über die 7 Faulen bis zur Eiswette und you name it. Deswegen sage ich auch, dies ist keine Farewell Address. Auf Deutsch würde man sagen, nicht Lebewohl, sondern bis die Tage. Vielleicht im Englischen See you. Ich freue mich darauf, dass ich an dieser Universität, dass ich in Bremen weiterarbeiten darf. I'm happy to hand over to Heinz-Otto Peitgen, Katja Wind. They will take over in 2 weeks now, 2 days more than 2 weeks. And from what I experienced over the last quarter of a year by now, I'm sure, not pretty sure, I'm sure, I'm confident that first the university will live up with the new leadership to new horizons, and that it will be fun to contribute a small part to that if it's asked for. And so I wish you all the best for the future. I thank once more the Jacobs Foundation and you, Christian Jacobs, for your generous support. I hope Tante Polly is the right picture and will not hinder you to further love this university and the wonderful people living in this university, which you could see all this evening. Thank you so much.
Well, Mr. President, I hope you keep your promise, especially now that you have a terrace to hold your speeches at. To conclude this formal part of the evening, we actually have one more person, and I'm not going to use the metaphor you've used, so I'm just going to welcome Dr. Christian Jacobs on the stage.
Dear Professor Treusch, ladies and gentlemen, it's of course a great honor for me to be the speaker at the very end of this ceremony. to say farewell to Joachim Treusch. My address is basically an address of thanks on behalf of my family, on behalf, I think, of all of us, of Jacobs Foundation, and thanks for achievements, I would say, over the last 7 years. Everybody said 6 years, but it's almost 7 years, to Joachim Treusch. A farewell ceremony is not only a reason to look back, and as Hermann Hesse says, also a possibility to view into the future. Thus, my farewell address should also shed some light on what we are going to hope to see going forward. A couple of points why all of us are very proud, and I think that is at least the expression I would like to use in connection with the last 7 years run by Joachim Treusch. It's basically pride. And of course, to underline again why at least we as a family committed to support this university, and probably also why Joachim Treusch was sort of hooked up by the number of persons he mentions at the time when he said, yes, I'm going to come to Jacobs University, at the time International University Bremen. Let me quickly get back to 2006, and indeed the reasons and the circumstances in which we were at that time when we said, yes, we are going to commit what at that time was the biggest investment of a private institution in higher education in Europe. And I would probably take the following a couple of points. There was, of course, as we all experience, the impressive number of students coming from all corners of the world and represented on this very campus. Students which immediately tell us that they are relevant for the future of Germany, of Bremen, and of Europe as a competitive continent in, I think, and that shows very well, in an ever more globalized world. That is certainly the one point, and I would like to reiterate that time and again. And of course, Joachim Treusch mentioned this. My father and I were really convinced about Professor Treusch's plans to focus the university, both in teaching and research, on a number of fields which he felt and we felt to be relevant for the development of leaders in a globalized world. And you can see that from all the addresses tonight, a number made very clear that responsibility is a key notion of education here, and of course also of research. The third argument, which was so convincing at the time, was, and this was not underlined today, that research is a part of undergraduate education at Jacobs University, which makes Jacobs University so distinct from other universities in Germany. We consider this sort of, I would call it, problem-oriented solving approach in teaching very innovative and very much in line with the needs of a modern world, not only business, but every type of occupation possible. And last but not least, and the ones who know still my father would underline that he was convinced that a private institution indeed can better solve issues than a state-run institution. And he was so much motivated in seeing leadership, and we had only 2 meetings with Joachim Treusch, and it is absolutely right what was said. Joachim Treusch gave a presentation, another one, and everybody was convinced about how he's going to run the university. So these are basically, I think I wanted to highlight these arguments just to underline how we move forward and to what extent Joachim Treusch was able to move this university forward within the last 7 years. I may add that I'm sometimes surprised about the appearance of the institution in the public, and Obviously, public starts already with Dean Kramer with the assessment of financial difficulties. I must say, I do not share the assessment. I do not share the term financial difficulties. I may say that the year 2006 was indeed a time of financial difficulties, but of course, and that should be underlined as well, of course, of a certain euphoria for project to be started. And this in Bremen not only refers to International University Bremen, but to also a number of other projects. But in hindsight, I think we should probably have been a bit more moderate and modest in being euphorious and in being convinced that all the targets discussed with Joachim Treusch and all the other members of the team, that these targets set out publicly can handsomely be achieved within a very short period of time. But I think, as we all know, time is sometimes not of essence, and therefore I would really rank down the issue of financial difficulties. I must say there are challenges, and that is exactly what a private institution deals every day. And the ones who are active in a private institution know this, and that is nothing bad. It's just a matter of fact, and we should take on this challenge and have basically fun with it like we have tonight. So that is what I... Thanks for the applause. That is indeed a good day to underline that very notion. The second part of my address tonight is why I am personally, and I think all of us are very proud of what Joachim Treusch has been achieved at this very place. Why? First and foremost, and Professor Lochte has said this, and I'm saying this time and again, Jacobs University was acknowledged as the only private full university in Germany by the Wissenschaftsrat this year. My father would have said, I control the market. The market is still quite small, but control is good. And I may add, we knew at the time there were a number of very, very good academic schools in Germany. And they took a lot of reputation and sometimes the connotation that they felt, or at least gave us the feeling, that they are universities. The wonderful thing about what the Wissenschaftsrat said is that a university needs to be a multi-faculty institution with a broad number of research and teaching areas. And that makes this university indeed very distinct and also reminds us going forward that this is a profile which really needs care and caution in dealing with the university. And I would like to really say that this is an achievement which I at least would have not dared to think about in 2006, and one of the really outstanding achievements of Professor Treusch. But this is also underlined by numbers. I would just like mention two. If you look at the success rate of applications to the Deutsche Forschungsgemeinschaft, the average, at least between 2008 and 2011, is about 32 to 37%. Guess the number at Jacobs University, half of the applications are successful, not only 1/3. I think that is evidence not for that is evidence for, not for Joachim Treusch, but that he got to choose around them the right team. And this is thanks to that team, and I hope a lot of them are here tonight. Evidence for the wonderful teaching quality is, I think, and that again I would have not have dared to dream about in 2006 is the wonderful ranking of CAE, where Jacobs University received the highest possible ranking alone or with other universities in 6 faculties, being biology, mathematics, computer science, geoscience, politics, and sociology. I must say, if we were to have talked about this in 2006, I think we would have had, might have had a vision for 2030, but not for 2012. So that is just to show that this is not only about delivering good addresses, but it's really performance. Thank you on that one. As we dealt with finances of this institution, I would like to draw your attention to the fact, and that is something which indeed is, I feel, not so much communicated, and I regret that a lot, is that I feel that the position of this institution is much better compared to US universities, which we like to look at so often. If you, for instance, say that any dollar of research money spent in the top universities in the United States is complemented by 85% from the state, I think we have a long way in Bremen to go to get this funding. So I think Jacobs University is in itself on that side well positioned. We need to do more, that goes without saying, but it says that the basis is very good, financially sound, and a good start to take on the challenges. And again, thank you on this to Joachim Treusch. A final area where I'm personally, as a child of the city, I'm very proud is that Joachim Treusch has become the secret foreign minister of the city of Bremen. Your trips to China, and India was not mentioned, but China was mentioned, your ongoing and continuous efforts to get the best schools to become cooperation partners with Jacobs University, the success of your contribution to the city booth at the Expo 2010 in Shanghai, and your obviously excellent relationship with the Minister of Science, Wang Gang, which you graciously offered to share with the Senat in Bremen, should be mentioned here. And I think we really are happy that you graciously offered your relationship and made Bremen really a point of reference in the scientific map on the globe. So thank you on this. I personally must say that this expression of pride should encourage us to be taken into the city, into northwestern Germany, and I would like to give that you give a big hand to Joachim Treusch to express what I call pride. Obviously, you have become knowing me quite well, or we are even sort of partners in crime. You anticipated my sort of third part of my small address to you by calling me Tante Polly. Of course, Tante Polly had expectations. And therefore, the final part of my address is about expectations. You can be relaxed now, but I think it's very important that we not only look back, but also forward. The first expectation is that I'm really looking forward to the partly recent development of a partnership with Bremen the Senat, and the interest that really an informal cooperation between the Senat in Bremen, also the University Bremen, and Jacobs University is going to be discussed, and I'm very much looking forward that this is really taking the right step ahead. Bremen has become part of the Excellence Initiative. This is not a one-time shot. I think that now deserves to take this a step ahead, to really enter into discussions which institution can best serve which purpose in order to make what Bremen deserves, Bremen a major point on the scientific landscape, not only in 2012, but for the future. And that is my hope and my expectation, that we even increase as Jacobs University the cooperation with other institutions of higher education in Bremen. It was mentioned, and I would like to add that this is one reason why Jacobs Foundation decided this autumn to even go beyond the 200 million investment after 2017 and invest more money into this institution in order to live up to be a true partner in that sense. The second expectation for the years to come relates to what my father would have called investment into education in a very broad sense. I know that students in particular, but also professors and all other colleagues within this university know that this term, investment into education, matters as it pays back, is really relevant for everybody. But I would like to call on that all of us should ever more ask ourselves whether our doing, everyday doing, is relevant for society. I'm not so much saying investment or payback on investment, but rather really questioning whether our doing is relevant for society or relevant for the purpose I'm heading for. We all know that in a country which is facing the Schuldensperre, the question of relevance of our doing will be raised ever more in the years to come. And if Jacobs University as a private institution wants to continue to be 3 steps ahead of other institutions, we should ask ourselves these questions, to the relevance question, every day and in every respect. And that is probably when Tante Polly is going to be a bit more serious than others in that respect. I would like to add, this is not something, an isolated point which should stay as its own. No. Why should we look at better funding, better outgoing to the public to figure out where we find money, also in order to better communicate with our target groups. There's a wonderful quote from my father in the Reimer Lüsthold: Jung oder alt, reich oder arm, Frau oder Mann, jeder hat das Recht auf eine gute Ausbildung. I think we also should take into consideration that this university is unique because it caters so many people who cannot afford, at least initially, to take that on board, to invest into their education. So we not only need to make sure that we get the money, so we not only have to make sure that we get the funds for our doing, but partially in order to really live up what this institution is, to make sure that the institution is able to finance, at least partly, the tuition and the studies of those who cannot afford studying at the very moment of their entrance. I have 2 other expectations, and they are more of a political dimension, and I think the end of an era like Joachim Treusch is a time when we could address this. One is, I think we can see that after World War II, Western Europe really looked at over the Atlantic, particularly to the United States. I'm not a friend of compromising on the relationship to the United States, but I'm deeply convinced that Europe, in order to stay competitive, not only inside, but also for people to come from abroad, needs to assure that our university are on the one side able to accommodate students from other countries, which we try to have a political or economic or otherwise relationship, but at the same time educate our young people, and I'm not saying only German, but also European people, to be prepared to find their way abroad. I know that this university is well suited to fulfill that expectation based on the number of countries represented on campus. However, I feel that we should develop in a more courageous way our notion of understanding internationalism to an effort to make internationalism more of a cultural understanding at the university, being, for instance, in renovating or restructuring curricula, trying to get more and ever more number of professors from countries of relevance and the like. I'm very happy about the number of countries represented, but I would expect in the years to come a more international color within as far as the content is concerned. Finally, the fourth expectation. This expectation refers to the role of a university in general and a private university in particular when it comes to providing the kind of education we think about. We all know education is partly know-how, partly competences. Simply said, the public discussion, whether it's about the dual education in Germany or an academic education, always assumes that both know-how and competences are taught in the institution. Looking at my own children and their attitude, how to learn, particularly in view of the dimension of the internet, causes me to think about the role of a university or their organization in general and Jacobs University in particular. And I think indeed Jacobs University could again play a wonderful role with regard to a new balance of know-how and competence transfer. Acquiring know-how can happen, and we see it in the IRC so much more efficiently by way of the internet that we should ask ourselves to what extent Jacobs University can replace the know-how acquiring process to more innovative forms. There are highly profitable pure online university. I'm not laughing about the Fernuniversität Hagen, but in the United States, which give rise to the idea that Jacobs University could think about a reorientation of curricula and the like. Why that? Because I think, and I'm deeply convinced, in an ever more globalized world, transferring competences gets ever more important. And I think the campus, as we see it with its wonderful colors, should serve as the transfer of competence rather than just a place to transfer know-how. President Treusch phrased Jacobs University's goal, and I quote him, "Our goal is to prepare the leaders of tomorrow to responsibly meet global challenges." We know that this is ever more important. And I would expect Jacobs University to think about what needs to be done to make students acquire competences to become these responsible leaders to meet global challenges. And indeed, competences are the key factor for that. So these are a bit more broad, 4 expectations which I wanted to share with you, as this is obviously something which we can discuss going forward, and I'm happy to see that Joachim Treusch has still left some room to develop, and he is probably also happy to see how his successors are going to cope with the challenges to come. Lieber Herr Professor Treusch, the short journey from arguments you made to convince my father and me to invest into these wonderful institutions, over highlighting your successes over the last 7 years, to formulating some of the expectation was, for me, a wonderful possibility, and I was very glad to do that, to look back on 7 years of success. And I may speak on behalf of the citizens of Bremen, as well as on behalf of my family, that we are primarily proud of what you have achieved in this institution, and proud because all successors have very good reason to believe into this institution with optimism that this modern full university continues what you said, to prepare leaders of tomorrow to responsibly meet global challenges. Thank you very much, and I wish you all the best on behalf of my family, Jacobs Foundation. Thank you.